Today we're speaking with Jen Vera, the Dark Feminine Guide. And on today's episode, we're going to be learning more about what the hell the Dark Feminine is, why is it so important for us to connect, to reclaim our Dark Feminine. Divine Feminine, fantastic. There's lots of focus on that. Everyone's talking about that. Love and light. But what about the dark? What about facing the dark, reclaiming the dark? Your rage, there's a lot of rage right now. And there's a lot of rage that we're all holding within us. And on today's episode, Jen is going to talk about her work, how she started, and also ways for you to connect with your dark feminine. Enjoy.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rani Cheema. I am the founder of Cheema's Travel, and this is Woo Wooism 101. And I am here today with Jen Vera, Dark Feminine Guide. And Jen is kind of was the catalyst for me stepping into the uh I guess the reclamation of my power, my voice, my identity, my name, all the things. And my work with Jen was just like the first step into this. And this is why I really wanted to connect with Jen, have this conversation, have her be one of the first guests on this podcast in video form, and just so that you could connect more with us. So, hello, Jen. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here and talk all the things, especially with
Yes,
you. It's going to be a fun one.
I know we always have really, really fun conversations. It's always this fun thing of like, oh, I wish that was recorded. That happens with a lot of people, but with you, it's like voice notes pinned from you.
Mhm.
Voice notes are always pinned from you. They're always bookmarked. I'll put the little emoji because they're really, really important bits of information that even if it's just the most simple, like yesterday you said something about just pulling a fucking oracle card. I was like, exactly. We don't always need to just pull a fucking oracle card. There are things that we just know in our body. And we're like, just trust this. Put the deck away. Don't ask a friend. Don't phone a friend. Just feel those feelings. So
Mhm.
I would love to talk about actually how we first met.
Yeah.
Um, because it was very, very serendipitous because there were a couple of people who had already assumed that we knew each other.
Mhm.
And being ADHD, not really having the best memory, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to offend Jen. But we met at a Kinkwinox party in
Oh, yeah, that's
Sedona.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. It was Katrina Blackwell. She's a vocalist and oracle herself. She does incredible work. And she had said, "Hey, Ronnie, Jen's here." And I'm like, "Oh, who's
I feel like
Jen?"
I met you before that party because you came to my house. I
Yeah.
feel like the first time I met you, you came over with Katrina and you're like, I have to go because I have to go buy white go-go boots. And I'm like,
It
okay.
was, oh, wait a second. Gasp.
I'm like,
I
that is
did have to buy
very,
white go-go boots.
that's a need. Yeah.
Okay. And I did, and they're actually they moved with me. So everyone who's watching, background's different than in LA because I've moved. I'm back in New York. I'm at my parents' house. And the go-go boots, because they're so hard to find anything in my size 11 shoe, they moved with me. And they hold special memories of that night. But I just remember Katrina saying, "Oh, don't you guys were in a workshop together with this mutual coach acquaintance person of ours, and um no, you don't want her to feel bad, like just act like you know her." It was like that kind of thing. I was like, oh my gosh, okay. Then it turned out we hadn't like really connected like that before. And then at that party I was so drawn to you, and um I was like, I want to say half naked at that party. And having you around, I don't know, it just built my confidence. Like I felt confident. And then I wanted to say goodbye to you because I was like, I'm out of this party. And turns out you had left already.
Side note, I helped all the ladies get naked.
Yes, I know. Didn't want to say like how you were dressed, but how
Superpower of
you were
mine.
dressed and your confidence. And I'm like, everybody's like, see, like you're fine, Ronnie. And I'm like, okay, fine. And then so yeah, you had left. And I was like, oh, I really wanted to I was really drawn to you. And then Katrina, she was supposed to either drive home or she was gonna, I forget. Then she's like, hey, I stayed at my friend's place. Can Do you want to meet me here? And then we'll go to her place in Prescott. After that, and I said, sure, why not? And then it was your place. And I
Hmm.
was like, oh my God. And then that's when we all found out. I think we were all like manifesting generators or generators. We're all women
Yes.
approaching 40. We all resonated with ADHD, all these conversations. And then I asked, what did you do?
Yeah.
And you had worked with plant medicine. And immediately I was like, heal me. I need someone to work um, with my ADHD.
Hmm.
And you were like, mm-hmm, your ADHD. That's what we're going to work on. It's like you knew and you know about the
Yeah.
people who come to you. So tell me, Jen,
Yeah.
who are the people that are drawn and attracted to you?
It's there's diversity, but there's also a common thread. I think because my personal story of one, also neurodivergent. I feel like I do attract a lot of neurodivergence. And also I think it's because we're all psychic and we all
Yeah.
have like this genius that does not allow us to live in the normal world in a normal way. We're not meant to think in that way. We're meant to use our minds for a lot of other different brilliance, right? And so
Hmm.
the people that I work with, they have a lot of conditioning and sometimes they don't realize it as much, but sometimes they do. They tend to be like me, like how I was. Pretty hyper independent, very resourceful, really smart. I used to be really in my head. I did not know what anger was. I
Hmm.
did not know what my feelings were. I was raised with like these feelings are the only feelings that you're allowed to feel, and like also incredibly intelligent, incredibly gifted people that maybe have been in their nice guy or good girl for too long,
Hmm.
where there's some sort of disconnect between the mind and the body. There's some sort of disconnect between them being in their wholeness or them being in like the three lower chakras of like, I want this. Like, I know what my desire feels like, and not just erotic desire, but like what I actually want in life. And I believe I'm worthy of having it. Um, and also power. The people that are drawn
Hmm.
to me are insanely powerful. And on some level, they feel shame about it. And also I do work with a lot of my clients are of culture, are of color. I will say
Hmm.
that. Or they grew up like in a very religious kind of cult like like there was like extra heavy conditioning on some level, whether it was cultural thing or whether it was a religious thing, but they're wanting to break free out of some really intense paradigms from their childhood.
The power aspect is definitely the thing that came up intensely with my work with you.
Mhm.
So I'm probably going to jump around in a couple of different places here because I've worked with you in like two different capacities, but
Mhm.
there were four total of meetings and interactions and things like that. So the first time it was in 2022, and I met with you, and what had came up, a lot of things that I didn't think were a thing, but it was my power. And again, the reclamation of these different parts of me. And then it continued in the next one, and that next, which was like a year later. feel like, because I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to do this. I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm
Mm-hmm.
good. Jen,
I remember you saying
no,
that.
I feel like I'm fine. And they're like, so when are we, does this day work for you? Does this time work for you? And I'm like, fine. Every time I work with you, I'm like, oh no, I'm good. I'm good now. I'm fine. Does it happen with
Yeah.
everybody?
I was gonna say you're not the only one. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
I'm sure.
you know,
It's because of the a lot of people you know how to we know how to communicate with each other, but I have to use my words instead of a lot of things can be transformational. They can be as small, and you've actually said this, the smallest things can be the most powerful thing, most transformational thing. Just you like offering a seat to somebody,
mhm.
and it's someone you usually wouldn't offer a seat to. I don't know. That's the best I could do in terms of that explanation. And then something transforms. So even with something that's so quote unquote small, working with you, there's always these like, they're not baby steps. It might feel like that when you're out and about in the world afterwards. They feel like, oh, well, I'm waiting for that transformation. And then all of a sudden things start clicking and it sticks. There's one person who said this during the Dark Feminine retreat that I went to earlier this year, I believe. And someone said, I love Jen because the results are like, they work, they're permanent, they happen. And when that person said that, I couldn't believe I didn't realize that either. That the work with you sticks.
Yes.
Yeah,
And I want to talk about why that is.
sure.
Because I'm brilliant. No, just kidding. I mean, yes. And
Yes.
it's it's honestly something that most of us, especially like in the plant medicine world and the way that people they're seeking a peak experience. And a lot of
Hmm.
times the reason people come to this type of medicine because it's a fierce medicine, strong medicine, right? Like um we come to journey because it's like we are on some level there's some chaos in our background, there's some trauma in our background, there's all of this like stuff that like is needing a level of intensity, right? And things what makes a great relationship are the small things, right? It's like in the small moments. It's not the trip that he took you to Paris. It's
Mm.
the way he or she the way they bring you your coffee every single morning, the little things and the like sweetness, the always like kindness and respect that are like in the day-to-day things. And a lot of times transformation in the personal development space, it got like into this very like yang type of like expression. And while the journeys can be very intense, the way that we work is on the level of the body.
Mm.
And, you know, I like to divide things into energetics, mindset, and then body. The body takes the longest to shift, takes the longest. And when we work on the level of the body through somatics, but also through the medicine, like working like to really ingrain a different tolerance for things, a different level of embodiment in the body, it's more permanent. So we'll do a little experiment right now. Like, um, I like to do this one. It's cliche, but whatever. So energetically, I can I can feel like I'm like 10 pounds less than I am right now. Right. Mindset wise, I can envision me in a split second, in a moment, you know, wearing a different size jeans. The how long it takes on the level of the body to lose 10 pounds for an average person is much longer than that. And so a lot of times we're a culture that's addicted to the quick fix, to the peak
Mhm.
experience, to like this. And what it looks like when you heal from trauma is it feels more peaceful. You're no longer attracted to like the up and down, the up and down. Like it's no longer fun for you. And so you begin to shift in real time. And it's the mundane and it's the subtle. It's, oh, this person who I know has been taking advantage of me and using me, and I've been afraid to have a conversation with them. They actually asked me for something, and I said, no, I can't do that for you. And I didn't have any charge in my body. It just happened.
Mhm.
Like, those are the micro moments of like, something has deeply changed within me. And that's the thing that creates a whole new, carves out a whole new life. Yeah.
I can give about 4,000 examples of how those are the things that I notice after working with you, especially after the Dark Feminine retreat and then the part two, the second retreat that we had after that. And I had even shared with you in the group chat, because when you're in the Dark Feminine retreat or the second part, you can be part of a group chat. I don't know if that's how you're going to do it again,
I
but
am.
I was listening to everyone's voice notes at 1.5 speed, and
Mhm.
then I noticed, oof, I can't do that anymore. I started slowing everyone's voice notes down, except my best friend. He gets sped up to 2. But and I realized like how regulated my nervous system was, that I needed to slow down. All of a sudden time felt like it had slowed down. I wasn't reacting to the same way I was in like from in uh relationships with friends or acquaintances or tricky relationships that would have triggered me because of memories from my childhood with my friends. And then all of a sudden noticing, oh no, oh, I'm genuinely sorry that you feel that way. Like maybe there's something I need to understand more. Would you be open to having a conversation? As opposed to, oh my God, what did I do? What did I do to break this person's heart? How did I hurt them? And da, da, da. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? And then in that piece, then it was, I mean, I'm gonna say it, Jen, like it's them, it's their fault. They're the thing that was wrong. Um, and it wasn't me. So, but there's still elements of, questioning that has to happen in that. Okay, well, this person did have this conversation with me. Why is this happening for me as opposed to me? And again, that's something that I learned from you. How is it happening for me and not to me? Um, because I love that we like jumped into this. I really would love to know, and for everyone who's watching to know, how you even started. How did you end up here in this place of being a dark feminine guide?
Oh man. The fastest story or share I can have here. Well, first of all, I just want to comment on one thing.
Yes.
The slowing down, and a lot of people like, why dark feminine? What is the feminine? And so many of us, especially those like, I've been very like financially independent my whole life, and like a lot of us are, what is it to be in our feminine? What is it to be in our masculine? The slowing down, the ability to slow down, the ability to take in a breath and like feel sensual, like feel like the fabric or feel the air on your skin. That would be what's considered like a more of a feminine, like in your body experience. And what the feminine needs the most is safety. And so a lot of what I teach is how to be safe in your body. And a lot of
Mhm.
times when we have trauma, we don't want to come in the body. It's like like keep me out of there. Keep me out of there. I don't want to go in there. Like, because then I have to feel things I don't want to feel. And there's a reason people disassociate all the time. There's a reason people uh like are disconnected from their feeling. They have very good reason, because like it's scary going in here for the first time, and you have strategies built in to like not be in the body. And so I just wanted to say that, like, how, yes, that micro thing of like, hey, I don't want to speed um people's shares.
Yeah.
Let me just take in their breath when they take it. Like, let me take in all of it. And that is the increased capacity from a regulated nervous system. That's like a beautiful, precise example of what it looks like.
Thank you. See, now I'm gonna interrupt you. I asked you a question and then I'm like, no, I can't hear it right now. It's hearing you talk about being afraid to be in the body. I've heard you say that before. I've heard it, but I heard it just now. And it reminded me of every time I worked with you and there was with plant medicine and that music comes on. Immediately I go, oh no. And then I start pulling the hood down because it's like Pachamama music. It's like like it is deeply spiritual music. And then it's like, you know what's coming. Clearly, I'm not a musician. I just play one on TV. But the thing with the music is like, I know that it was created to help facilitate something. And when you hear it and you're in it, you can't help but go into your body. So that's why when you're talking about we don't want to go into the body because of trauma, I started laughing a little bit because I was like, oh my God. Every time I hear the music, it's like, oh, I know what's coming up. Oh God, we're going in. And then that's why there's a whole, no, I'm good. I don't need to do this again. That thing comes up. So just wanted to call that out and kind of make that connection. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I mean, hey, I get afraid of going on journeys all the time too, and I like
Yeah.
do this. Happens less frequently now, but I think fear teaches us a healthy respect and a healthy reverence for the
Mhm.
ceremony and for like the what could potentially happen. And like a lot of times it's death. Let's face it.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's like an ego death, and like we're going into places that we weren't capable of or didn't feel the courage enough to go in on our own before that. So like, I mean, I get
Mhm.
it. I'll change up my playlist too.
It's always like, oh no, this is gonna happen again. But then afterwards, you're like, oh, thank God. Thank God that all
Exactly,
happened.
exactly.
Yeah.
So how did I get into this? I mean,
Yeah. Tell me.
one, trauma. Dun,
Yay,
dun, dun,
trauma.
dun. Thank you, trauma. Um, but I've always felt such a deep connection to God. You know, when I lost my grandmother at 7 years old, and everyone, we were at her house and everyone was in mourning, and everyone was like crying and like talking about abuela, and I'm like, abuela's right here. Like I could see her, I could feel her. And so like I had some abilities when I was younger. Um, and then even at 15, I like got really into, I became a born again Christian. I always felt like a deep relationship with God in some way, shape, or form. I was like a Buddhist at 18. Then I started going to plant medicine ceremonies at 19. And so I always had like a deep connection to spirituality, got into yoga off and on for 7 years. After that, went to India, did a Vipassana, stayed with Amma. Like there was always I call myself very spiritually promiscuous. I
Mm.
went to different lineages. Yeah. Like, and for the past 7 years, um, Tantra, sacred sexuality, that has been a massive aspect of how I move spiritually in the world. And so how did I get into this specifically? I will say that I have had access with this particular medicine for a long time, and it is like at 19, I started working with plant medicine, not this one, but I understood how, like, I was already receiving certain initiations there.
Mm.
And then with this particular medicine, I had a journey and everything came back to me from like when I was a lot younger, because when I was journeying and I was younger, I didn't have the capacity to hold it. And I felt like I was going crazy. And I felt like I'm either going to go live in Mexico and become a mystic and just like live in a cave and like just, and leave my family, leave the world behind,
Yeah.
or I'm going to live in the world. And that's when I started doing yoga and stopped going to so many gyms. And then, like, and then when I got back to it, like I had a different capacity to be
Yeah.
able to walk with it and hold it and respect it and then like serve it. Um, and so that's how I got into it. I would say the medicine taught me a lot about how to work with it, how to respect it, and how to serve it. And it gave me permission to work with it in that way. And then also, I had amazing mentors, and like the mentorship aspect has been unbeknownst to me.
Mm.
I was teaching high ticket sales, and I had this amazing, incredible meditation teacher, at that time when I knew her from like a previous job and in the coaching world. And I'm like, I don't do any barters or anything like that, but like I was driving and God told me that I needed to give you my high ticket sales program. And it was like a $6,000 program. And I'm like, and I need to
Mm.
gift it to you and that you're going to have something for me some later point. And it was just a very clear thing. And at that point, I wasn't bartering anything. I wasn't working in that way. And she ended up being my priestess mentor and still is to this day. I've been working with her for 4 years.
Wow.
And again, like it's not something I chose. And then also the work of Dr. Brian Lum and Dr. Chelsea Ray, now Lum, formerly Chelsea Ray
Mm.
Versluis. They taught me so much about the nervous system. I worked with them for 4 years, and so I bring all of that, like all those different lineages to my work, but it wasn't something I had planned. It wasn't some, it just unfolded that way in
Mhm.
my life. And then I realized, oh my God, my trauma. And I didn't realize that I had trauma. And like, you know, like Dr. Brian Lum knew, but like one thing I love about him is like, and I try to work this way, is he's so non-hierarchical. And that's like a really core aspect of like the dark feminine. And I think like really good spiritual teachers, it's like,
Mm.
who are you? Like
Mhm.
my work is to just like help you get the stuff out so that like you know who you are, and that's how he is. So it's like I know he knew it, but he never told me. He never, and so like it's one of those things where I had to really see it for myself and break that conditioning.
Mm.
And that has been like, now it's my life's purpose because it's not so unique. My trauma isn't so unique. It's the same trauma that happens to anyone that is deeply conditioned to not trust themselves.
Mhm.
That's deeply conditioned to like uh, be used or like not have reciprocal relationships, the conditioning of the world, the good girl mask, the I exist on behalf of serving other people, I don't have needs, I don't need anything, I just need to do on behalf of others. So like, your mess becomes your message. that's
Yeah.
kind of that's kind of how it went for me. Yeah.
I've never heard you say that.
I didn't make it
Your
up.
best becomes your message.
Yeah.
I mean, I see that in so many, because there's so many people right now who are, I mean, it's 2025. Everybody's going through it. Everyone is transforming, everyone is transitioning, everyone is shifting gears. And I'm seeing more and more people being honest too about specifically other coaches. And I'm always, if you notice, like in the beginning of this, I'm also always careful with saying healer, because it's like a facilitator
Yeah.
of helping you. It's not that, I am the one who's going to do this for you. It's I can give you the tools. I'm going to support you to find your own way. And you've been that way since day one with working with you. And during one of our first sessions together, it was our first session together when I thought it was my ADHD. And you're like, I don't think so, girl. We had a one-on-one call,
Mhm.
and at the end of that call, I'm over here thinking I'm talking about my brain, my intelligence, like how I move through the world, and all you heard was relationships.
Mhm.
I'm like, what? You're like, so we're healing your relationships? I'm like, what? I didn't talk about like what? Because you heard me. You fell to me. And that's what came up while you worked on my ADHD separately.
Huh? Mhm.
And then I was in my body working on the relationship aspect and the trauma and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, and that after that, after that work, because I felt really powerful and I felt like I was like reclaiming all these parts of me. It wasn't until after that first session that you revealed to me that most people who come to you tend to be priestesses,
Mhm.
healers, facilitators of healers, like witches, all these powerful, powerful people, but they show up saying, like, I need to forget my ex-boyfriend, or like something that's so on the surface. And there's this thing that and you won't share it beforehand, but it comes up later. And that's something I really appreciate because then we're not going into it being like, oh my God, Jen attracts these kinds of people, then that must mean, and then we're going in with our own shit. And then later on it comes up. So um yeah, it's not about you proving, or it's not your ego. Yeah, I don't think I've ever witnessed your ego in
Well,
this
just wait.
work. Just wait and
Yeah, like
see.
there's a reason I do this type of work in my home, and you see
Yeah.
my imperfect home and my blind little dog. It's and
Yeah.
it's deeply important to when you're
Yeah.
doing this kind of work. And I work a lot with sexual molestation as well, like in addition to all of
Hmm.
these other issues. The safety and intimacy is really important. And sometimes when people have the hierarchical type of thing of like, oh, like she must know all of these things or like be over here. And they, what I've experienced is in the journey, they won't let me really see them because there's a level of
Mm.
like, I need to like be a certain way to be seen by this kind of person or like people like, and this is much more of like an indigenous way of working where it's like there's no pretense. The pretense falls away so that the authentic aspect can be seen and can be witnessed. And honestly, it's deeply feminine just to be a sacred witness, just to be a sacred witness for another person, whether they are like bawling their eyes out or like sharing their shame or laughing hysterically, like and howling at the moon, whatever it is. The sacred witness is an archetype we don't have enough of in our culture. And
Mhm.
I think it's one of the most healing ones because it's in that connection. When we have trauma in the system, it's disconnection. What heals it is connection. That's why, like, if you go to an AA meeting or like a 12-step program, what heals addiction is not sobriety, it's connection. They say that
Mm.
constantly. And so that's healing. Healing is just holding that level of love so that the connection can happen.
Mhm.
And that is not hierarchical. That is, I'm here. I'm right here with you. Yeah.
I would love to know if there is something that you because there's so many things that we always talk about. If there's anything specific that you just want to talk about, that you want to share with the people of the internet, that would be really helpful and useful in their journey.
Yeah. I want to talk about desire.
Mm.
I want to talk about desire because, and like erotic aliveness, just saying that and knowing that this is going to be like on YouTube or something, erotic. It does something for me. I'm enjoying it. So, and the reason I want to talk about this is like, especially for, I mean, for everyone, like we have eros or erotic energy in a category that's like either shame filled, guilt filled, only under these circumstances filled. And it's that feeling of like, oh my God, I want to do something really bold that I've never done before. That's erotic energy. Electricity that you feel, the level of like communion and divine experiences that you feel. That's all erotic energy. When you're in someone's presence and you just feel like more alive, that's also
Yeah.
erotic energy. And so what I want to like share is for those of you that are like struggling to experience this aliveness, this desire, I want to point you to the it's probable that you probably cannot experience your rage. You have a hard time experiencing the grief or the denser emotions, the emotions that, you know, we would find more difficult to feel.
Mhm.
And it's our emotional range. We can have it like this, where it's like, I only let myself be like a little like satisfied, maybe like a
Good
little bit,
enough.
maybe a little excited. And then I
Yeah.
only let myself feel frustration and grumpy. This is my range, and that's what's safe. Emotions are not on a hierarchical scale, they are on a horizontal scale. To
Mm.
the level that you experience your rage and can feel it, and I'm not saying rage at people, but to the level that you can feel it is also to the level that you can feel your ecstasy, that you can feel your passion. And our culture is just like, okay, you're only allowed to feel this. Exist in your little bubble. This is your comfort zone. And so the thing that I want to share the most with people is if you want to feel more aliveness, less stagnation in your body, you've got to go over here and you've got to
Mm.
start. And like going over here is what is going to give you the courage to do the things that make you feel alive over here. Because it's risky. It's risky to talk to the person that you think is so hot and be like, hey, you're very attractive. Because whoever's watching, you're very,
Mhm.
very attractive. And
Yes,
I
you
would
are.
love to spend more time with you. You know, that's
Yeah.
risky, scary, especially when you're just like, they're doing something for me, you know? And
Mhm.
and so like being able to know that we can go here and we did not die and we can handle the disappointment of someone being like, thanks so much, I have a partner. We can handle the disappointment of like, thank you, I'm not interested.
Mhm.
That's what allows us the courage to go over here. And so, like, if there's one thing that people can take away from this call, it's that. And if you want to know how to do that, you can head over to mysticalsovereign.com. I got Sacred Rage Party October 4th and 5th of 2025. I have an actual Sacred Rage Party and a bunch of other stuff at the Daring Return. That's going to be in Sedona. It's a 2-day immersion, 12 hours with me, women only. And we're going to go into desire. We're going to go to some like archetypal embodiment play. We're going to have a lot of dance. It's going to be really powerful, really fun, focused on being in the body. And yeah, I also have a free masterclass in 1 week.
Yes. I'll be there. I signed up. I'm gonna be there. Yeah.
Mysticalsovereign.com for like all the details.
And you can also check the comments section down below. I'll have the links in the description box below. I do want to talk about how um with one of so I do want to talk about my testimonial that was such a great reminder. I saw it on the website and I was just like, Jen. We need to like talk. We need to hop on this call. Are you down? And it was because during that event, the last Dark Feminine retreat, the last one, which was the first one, there was someone I was interacting with that not interacting with, we were role playing and we were just like moving and talking about the things that we wanted and the things that we desired, even if it was like, ooh, I want a cupcake right now. Oh, what kind of cupcake do you want? Just a regular, I want a devil's food cupcake with a ganache frosting, like going into it. And this person, I thought I was getting ready because I think big. I think, again, I think big. And this person had said, I want to travel more. And I was in my head, I was going to say, is it first class? I was getting ready to challenge them. And they said, in my private jet. And I'm like, oh, shit. Okay. And they're like, I'm going to have a workspace. And I was like, where are you renting it? In my head, I'm like, I own it. I was like, oh my God. So being in that space with all of these women and having, because you do your best. That's what I really loved. You did your absolute best to make sure we could interact with as many different people as possible because they're, of course, they're part of their medicine. Like we're gonna learn from them. And what I learned from that was, geez, I am not as delusional. I am not that big of a dreamer. And as I'm saying it now, I'm like, oh God, that's on my to-do list, dream bigger. And to do this list, and it was just really inspiring. And then to hear everybody else's stories too. And that's of course mentioned in the testimonial. That was the one I gave because I don't want to, confidentiality and stuff like that. So um it's those kinds of experiences and even witnessing someone else in their rage, even when I'm like, well, I'm I'm annoyed, and then seeing someone else rage out and then feeling it and be like, oh, I've got that in there.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm like slapping my pillow. And then eventually you're just shouting, who's the pillow? Or like whatever. And then it's like, okay, now it's coming up. Oh my God, I'm angry with myself about these things.
Yeah.
So like it's so I've always loved the one-on-one work. I think that's where I'm going. Like I've always loved the one-on-one work. I love my Gen time. But now I can really see the magnitude of doing this work in a group because you also don't feel weird or different or less than. You can see that you are all the same.
Yeah. And it's one of the things. So I recently got into witchcraft. And it's like, the whole like witch coven,
Yeah.
the reason that it has been demonized, right? Like, oh, don't be a witch, don't have a coven. It was really
Hmm.
anti-sisterhood.
Hmm.
And even the lies of the culture of like, I grew up like on telenovelas, like because I'm Mexican and Cuban.
Yeah.
And so the telenovelas, it's like, oh, like there's like the good girl who's like a virgin, dresses all in white, is so innocent, right? Like so naive. And then there's like the seductress, and she's like so manipulative and like es la mala, like she's the one and the evil one.
Yeah.
And again, we're always like pitting women against each other,
Yeah.
right? And the power that happens when we are in circles together, where watching a woman go into her rage gives you permission. Watching a woman step like that you saw the day before, bawling her eyes out, feeling so lost and confused, taking the mic and being like, this is what I want, and saying it confidently. It gives
Hmm.
permission for your dreams, it gives permission for your desires. And together we are so much stronger, and it's like incredibly nourishing. And sisterhood that's not just love and light, but that's like, I've had to, I haven't had to, I've had the beautiful opportunity to support a couple of people in my life that are going through the death of their parents. And it's
Mm,
like in those moments, like just showing up silently on the phone, right? Like it, life life will provide you your shadow work, right? Life will provide you plenty of opportunities. It's not just in this love and light, only high vibe,
yeah.
sisterhood. You're only allowed here under these conditions, but a sisterhood where you're allowed to be all of you. And like, I'm weird, like I want people around me who are weird. It's true, like, because I
Yeah.
want to be my whole authentic self. And my whole authentic self is she's really fun and she's playful and sometimes she's super emotional and just like cries all day. And like, she has like I want to be able to be fully and sometimes she's like a little alien and like Rubik's
Hmm.
cubing like, like I, I want to be able to be in rooms that can handle the fullness of me, and I want to create rooms that can handle the fullness of everyone else.
Yeah.
And there is no too much. And that's the feminine's gift, like, and not just woman, but like the feminine energy is that level of expansion through her desire, through her longing. And she pushes against the Shiva, like the Shakti pushes
Hmm.
wants to expand the Shiva, wants to expand the container, the masculine. And then there's this beautiful dance of like, and she helps the evolution of humanity. That
Hmm.
is the purpose. And like this whole feminine rising, this whole dark feminine rising, all of this is for evolution of consciousness, for evolution of humanity. So we need sisterhood. And I want to build it. And that's what I'm creating, at the Daring Return. And that's what I'm going to be committed to creating like over and over again because we need this. We need
Yeah,
that.
we do. And again, that's on the weekend of October 4th, correct? For two
Yeah.
nights
October 4th and 5th.
in Sedona.
Yeah.
And I'll link everything in the description box and also on social media. And I just want to say thank you so much to you, Jen, for the work that you do because it is it's life changing. I'm just going to say it. It's life changing. It's a big deal. And even in the few words in like a 12-second voice note or even a 6-minute voice note, 12-second voice note, you can say something that is like, oh, that was the code. That
Mhm.
dial's been turned. I never even have to think about
Mhm.
that. So there's even something in your voice. I'd love to talk more on another call. And when you talked about witchcraft, I was like, already I was thinking about chaos magic. I was when you're talking about all these different religions, and I'm just a spiritualist, all this different stuff that we can totally have another conversation about that. Because
Sure.
this is also part of your evolution has been really quick,
Mhm.
compact. I want to
Mhm.
say. It's
Yeah.
been compact, it's been intense, and now there's this next thing. And I've been called to step into that work too. So I look forward to talking to you again, this time
Yes.
about witchcraft and magic.
Yeah. And thank you so much, Ronnie. Like you have such an incredible genius. And I do want to say that I got to see Ronnie's brain in a journey, and it was the most incredible thing I have ever seen and witnessed. And I love getting to be a witness to your genius coming alive and all the ways that you touch people. Like it's
Yeah.
one of the most incredible things I get to hear from you regularly of like the random coincidence, and you're just like living your day, you living your life, going about your day, and then you're just like, oh yeah, and then this tiny miracle happened. What are the chances of this? And then this, and then this, and all the ways in which you touch people, and they're just like, Ronnie,
Mm.
like you did this for me, and like you're like, oh, I was just living my life. I was just over here being me, and it's just in your being. And I really feel like that's
Yeah.
how God designed us to function and to be in that easeful way, like in our authenticity, to go where we feel called, when we feel called, without all the like constructs and mind stuff. Like, and you've done so beautifully at just being you and listening. And the impact that that gets to have on the world is like incredible. And I
Thank you so
love knowing you.
much.
You're a delight. Yeah, I can talk about you for hours. Thank you so much.
I can talk about you for hours. I do, and I do it on Instagram. I'm talking about, oh, my travel visits. Somehow Jen ends up in there. And I'm just talking about Jen. And then I go away. And then, oh, I'm talking about like my psychic mediumship. And then all of a sudden I'm talking about Jen.
Mhm.
And then she goes away. So you're always pulled in into some aspect of conversation. So clearly, I'm so happy to have you in my life as well. And yeah, thank you for being here. And again, everyone check out the description box for all the details, where to find Jen, how to sign up for this retreat, and all the other things that she has coming up. Thanks,
Yeah,
Jen.
thank you so much.